I saw the new Bong Joon-ho movie, Mickey 17. For those that don't know, Mr. Bong was the director of the Best Picture winning Parasite in 2019. He's also responsible for making some of my favorite movies of all time, including the now classic Memories of Murder, and in my opinion, the extremely underrated Mother. This 100% feels like another one of his movies. It's silly, it's goofy, it's violent, it's at times kind of disturbing, and it has an all-around playful tone. Pretty much every cast member is stellar in their role. We've got Robert Pattinson, Mark Ruffalo, Toni Collette, Steven Yeun, Naomi Ackie, all mostly killing it. Most of them play characters that are over the top and exaggerated, but they reel it in whenever it starts to feel too cartoonish. The set and costume design was nice. I did find that the CGI looked shoddy a few times, especially in places that were supposed to be big or expansive. The smaller sets were good though. I feel like I don't really need to do any analysis or whatever here because I think most people will be picking up whatever this movie is putting down. Not to say there isn't more subtle symbolism and motifs present that are fun to recognize for those paying attention. It's just that, much like Parasite, the commentary on class, social structures, existentialism, and more become very apparent as the runtime progresses. I only want to use the spoilers section to talk about why I did not think this was a perfect film. I mostly just got distracted by a good handful of small plot stuff, and I want to talk about them. So here's your spoiler warning. There are so many times when a character is about to do something pivotal and then something else happens to stop them. Like, if that moment was 5 seconds later or earlier, the whole plot would not have taken place. We get the cliche of someone monologuing so that their opposition can gain the upper hand on numerous occasions. Steven Yeun was in that trash chute for a long time, man. If Mickey 18 didn't sit there with a literal burning spear dicking around or giving his speech, he'd be done. Mark Ruffalo's character does the same shit. That baby creeper is dangling over the lava for another eternity. It gets especially distracting towards the end when he could push those detonator buttons whenever he wants. He sees Mickey 18 at full sprint running towards him from a good distance away, and for some reason he opts to shoot him with a pistol. Just press the buttons, bro. Also, it was very hard for me to feel like anything was going to happen fatally to Mickey 17, at least not until the very end. The movie is called Mickey 17. I doubted he'd fall victim to whatever he was up against in every situation. Danger was supposedly imminent. It's kind of ironic that a movie featuring a guy whose life is portrayed as worthless and expendable is being protected by the script so often. These guys are very comfortable with killing him nonchalantly, and now suddenly there are people actually grappling with it. He gets knocked out or paralyzed quite a bit. Even 18 is set on bashing him to death at first sight, but instead he knocks him out to then take him to the trash chute? Huh? Did he think he was already dead? I would have pulverized his ass. A lot of these characters are supposed to be total idiots, so that's why I mostly buy all of these story excuses that I'm bringing up. The film does not shy away from showing how moronic these characters are, so at least it covers its bases when it shows them do stupid things. During the dinner scene, Mark Ruffalo is like, okay, he's tweaking too hard, let's just shoot him. He's seconds away from pulling the trigger, but Toni Collette doesn't want to stain the carpet. Like, yeah, he got bailed out by some bullshit, but that's still a pretty funny moment that exemplifies how outrageous these people have become. There's at least a reason for every behavior. Like, the crew members seem kinda quick to mutiny on a guy they supposedly worship, but I do believe that they started to feel more like he was a douchebag after spending all this time on the ship with him. I don't know if hardcore Trump supporters would do that or not, though. Speaking of which, I don't think that aspect was as on the nose as people say it was regarding that parallel, although the red hats and shit at the beginning were kinda too much. Plus, it seems that similar to Mickey, half the people on the ship were just there to get off Earth. We do learn kind of briefly that Mark Ruffalo is trying to start a white supremacist colony and that he's super racist. This didn't come as much surprise to me, but it's a quick moment that never really gets brought up again. My question is, how come he's bringing a ship full of so many minorities here then? I'm also somewhat disappointed with where the story went. I saw a Letterboxd review saying that they had a really interesting premise of multiples and rebirthing that hadn't quite been done before, but then they opt for some Avatar bullshit about protecting the local life, and yeah, that third act really does devolve into something else. I see where that take is coming from, and I identify with a lot of it, but I also didn't expect for this to go in some of the directions it did. I could not predict what happened next most of the time, and that's a good thing. At the end of the day, this isn't my movie. I didn't make it. Maybe in my version, I would have done less of that shit and explored some of the other plot lines that didn't get fleshed out very much. The whole love quadrangle thing was getting fun, and it just fizzled out. Also, the way Mark Ruffalo isn't even tricked into leaving the ship at the end is just crazy. Do I still believe he wanted a big spectacle and was willing to risk it for clout? Yeah, probably. The movie lives on the edge of almost too stupid for me. But again, I had a good time, so... As much of this video I have spent on these critiques, I would easily see this again. I was always entertained and appreciated how it seemed to acknowledge the wacky absurdness of the situations being portrayed. There's something so fun about watching a bunch of Nimrods get involved with sci-fi hijinks. It's like if the characters from Prometheus had a tonally accurate world to live in. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a 7 out of 10. Not quite an 8, but it's close. It's a strong 7. Perhaps the best candidate for a 7.5, if there ever was one. Alright, I'm trying to work on some more long-form content. We'll see what comes out first. So stay tuned. Yeah.